These people don't know what they're doing. They're playing over here, just having, they're like playing God with these people's health, just being over here like, don't eat any carbs, good luck. Meanwhile, they're shoving their faces with waffles at the
Yeah.
Waffle House, having a
Thank
great
you.
time.
Sponsor us, Waffle House.
Sponsor us.
Waffle House sponsor us.
Welcome to the Pageants and Tangents podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Pageants and Tangents, where we occasionally talk about pageants, and we're still trying to get sponsored by Waffle House. Joined by the usual crew, we got Morgan over in the top right. Morgan, what's going on?
Nothing. Influx of clients who are ready to get started before New Year's Day, which is really refreshing. But outside of that, trying to go ahead and book trips for 2026, none of them to Australia, the death trap of the world.
Australia is not that bad. If anyone ever wants to come to Australia, ask me what you need to run away from, and it's not the spiders, it's not the snakes. I will say it's actually the trees. But we'd love to have you. It's 100 degrees here, Morgan, right now. Wouldn't you rather be in the heat than the freezing cold?
I would love to be so tan. That would be really nice.
There you go.
That'd be fabulous.
Come visit. Bring your husband with you, and we'll go touring around Australia, and I promise I won't leave you in any weird places. We got Peyton in the bottom left. Peyton, how's your week been? What's going on?
It has been fantabulous and blessed. I was just telling all of you earlier, I shot my first deer a few days ago, but I do love animals. But it's going to feed my family, if that helps anybody.
Facts.
We do eat it. And what else? I'm in my winter arc. So this is going to be a fun topic of discussion today because I have officially dove into my winter arc.
When you say that, is that like a sad thing, or we're talking about like the seasonal affective disorder?
No, this is like my, I'm ahead of all of the New Year's resolution people. I have dived. What's the past tense?
You guys say dove. We say dived.
Dove. Yeah, there you go. Okay, both sides of the country. Into my planning for 2026, as well as my health and fitness goals. Not dropping them. It's very shut out the world, get things done kind of vibe.
And Miss Haley Poe, who's in the bottom right. What's been going on, Haley?
I filmed for Beauty by Lady Code today with The Story of You palette collaboration between Pretty Down to Earth and Miss Earth USA. It has colors in it that represent different things from the show. So that was fun to work on today. And I am getting ready for a mystery trip this weekend that comes with a very special announcement for 2026. And I have told no one but the people that live in my house. So I'm not going to tell you yet either, but I'm going to post about it in a couple of days. And maybe I'll send a text to the group chat like 5 minutes before so that you feel like you got that inside scoop before it hits Instagram.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I'm intrigued as well, but she's being very stubborn and she won't actually tell me, which I can respect, but she's very, very tight-lipped. So if anyone ever needs to keep a secret, Haley's your girl. Should we get into the fitness component? So let's get into it. I will get Morgan first off to just tell us briefly why we're asking her why she's the expert, because I'm not a personal trainer. I have, experience as a tennis coach and things like that. And neither Peyton nor Haley are personal trainers. But Morgan, give us your expertise, your qualifications, all that stuff.
God, I have more certifications than I can count on two hands. So certifications in training and training the physique athlete, nutrition certifications. And outside of that, my favorite component to add into training is going to be the psychology aspect, which I have a master's of science in. So we're going to blend it. And I think
we're going to blend it.
Some people off.
That's all right. I think in the pageant industry, if you're giving good advice, it tends to annoy some people. That's been my experience. I'll just leave it at that.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to the clips. All right. So let's start the drilling or the grilling. Now, Peyton, I might go over to you first, only because you're one of Morgan's clients. So is there anything that you've just been dying to ask Morgan, or do you want to just give her a juicy tangent that she can rant on for about 5 minutes?
I think it's probably one and the same. I'm going to say 2 in 1, protein versus carbs in fueling, the importance of either, and then cardio versus lifting.
So
Okay.
I'll make a note so you don't forget. All right. So I'm going to make a note. So let's do the first one. So and I wrote this as a potential question as well. It's like high protein, low carb, that sort of thing. All right, Morgan, away you go.
Okay, so protein, carbs, and fats, those are your three macros, macronutrients. Some people will say alcohol is the fourth macronutrient. We're not going to go onto that tangent, but protein, carbs, and fats. Protein, the beautiful part of protein is that all three macronutrients are essential, but protein is going to be so essential for building, maintaining, and repairing your muscle. And it's good for cartilage and skin and your blood and your bones. It's good for you. It's not going to make you bulky. That's not what it's for or how it works. What I like about protein that I don't think a lot of people are ever explained is that there's this thing called the thermogenic effect of food, TEF. And basically what that means is when you eat food, your body has to burn calories to put it to work. So, it's you eat the food, the car goes in your stomach, but then the car has to burn gas to get to where it's going. Protein has the highest thermogenic effect of food compared to carbs and fats. So when you eat protein, your body actually has to burn more calories to put it to work than it does when you eat carbs or fats. What I hate about carbs is that they're demonized. I don't think you should demonize any three food groups because ultimately they're all necessary for something. Protein is good for everything I already mentioned, muscles and maintaining and building and repairing them. Carbs are your body's preferred and first source of energy because carbs are typically your body's readily available source of energy. But the thing that people don't explain to anyone, which is why I got so mad when keto was hot, was, bruh, your brain runs on glucose. What is glucose? Glucose is carbs. Carbs, glucose, same thing. Person, human, together. Your brain runs on glucose. So then people would go on the ketogenic diet, and half the time it wasn't the keto diet because they weren't eating so low carb that their body was actually getting into a state of ketosis. But and to do that, it was typically less than 25 grams of carbs a day, which is obscene to me. But carbs are your body's first source of energy. It's your brain's only source of energy. So that's what's going to give you that stamina for your workout. It's what's going to keep you sharp when you're taking your test and studying in school and working all the time. And then fats, because a lot of people will, you'll hear people say, oh, don't eat carbs, or oh, don't eat fat, or don't eat protein. Fats are what's going to help regulate your hormone levels. And one thing that wasn't explained to me when I was doing pageants, my first trainer that I worked with completely removed fats out of my diet entirely. So my diet consisted solely of grilled chicken breast, minimal to no fat, typically no fat in that. If not, it's minute. Broccoli, none. Rice, none. And then 0% fat-free Greek yogurt. So like no fat in the Greek yogurt, and blueberries. It wrecked my hormones entirely to the point where on show day, I had to eat 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, hadn't had it in 4 months, and completely changed everything that was going on for my body that day, like threw me for a full loop. So fats are good for your hormones. So all three of your macronutrients are going to play a very important role, but protein's not going to make you bulky. Carbs aren't inherently going to make you fat. Fat's not going to make you fat. And did I answer that one?
Yes.
That's a lot.
Thanks.
But I've always thought that I don't know, there's no long-term, and Morgan, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's long-term research into the health effects of keto. That's what set me off. And also being an Asian, the Asian population has thrived for how many millennia basically on rice. And so to think that you could just remove an entire food group and you're going to be okay. Just give me your thoughts on that.
So if we want to use carnivore diet, for example, because carnivore pretty much takes away majority of carbohydrates, it leans into a lot of it takes everything. It leans into a lot of meats and butters. I do know that they say that your cholesterol can go through the absolute freaking roof, which is understandably so. I just don't see a point in the demonization of any food group, because at the end of the day, any diet you do comes down to the same thing. You're in a calorie deficit, dog. Like that's
Mm.
just what it is. You could be fasting, doing intermittent fasting, you could be doing carnivore, you could be doing keto, you could be whatever. Bro, you're in a calorie deficit. It comes down to Kiko,
Yeah.
calories in, calories out. And I've seen far and few people between. I have had a few clients that didn't necessarily work for them and they had to go to the
Mm.
doctor and they were having major hormonal issues and thyroid issues, and that's a completely different story here. So for today, I'm
Yeah.
just going to talk about the normies, not people with
Yeah.
baseline healthy
Yeah.
levels. It's all just a deficit, dog. It's that's all it comes down to, just being a deficit. I want chicken tacos for dinner and I want to lose weight. I'm just eating in a calorie deficit. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. The other question that Peyton asked was about the cardio versus weights. Now, just to tee you up, I'm someone who can't stand jogging, not because I think it's bad for me, but I just find it extremely boring with my ADHD. I'm much more a weights person, but also a sprints person, and I love tennis. So I can
I
run,
hate
but,
running.
but I can run forever if I'm chasing a ball. But I will say Haley is a very avid jogger, so whatever works. But cardio versus weights, is it a similar thing to the macros? Is it like a bit of everything is good?
I think a little bit of everything is good. So ultimately, like if you want to be like top tier in fitness and all around healthy, then yes, you need to have a cardio component because it's good for you, it's good for your heart. You need to be lifting weights because that's not only going to be good for your body in terms of the aesthetic you're aiming for, but it's typically going to help you burn more calories. More muscle means more calories burned throughout the
Yeah.
day. But also, it's going to help with bone density. Like, nothing is less sexy than the idea of being in your 60s and needing a hip replacement, but you never lifted weights, you never ate your protein or drank your protein, and then they try to screw stuff into your bones in the surgeon's office, and it's like screwing into like, I don't know, what are
The
those
wall.
foamy things? Yeah, something that's falling apart. Like that's not going to be beneficial. And then you need to be stretching. So those are
Mm.
my three necessities. And personally, I hate running. When I had a trainer, the first one was making me do 90 minutes of cardio every night after my lifting session. I refused to run, so I did 90 minutes on a Jacob's ladder, which if you don't know what that is, it's at a 45-degree angle. There are bars that run across it, and you literally climb. Like you're like
Yeah.
climbing a ladder at a 45-degree angle. I did that for 90 minutes instead because I just genuinely do not enjoy running. I have plenty of clients who love it and they're like, it clears my head and it just kind of like helps me
Mm.
to be into
Yeah.
the moment and it gives me like the endorphins that I need. I love that for y'all. I will support y'all on that journey. For me to reap the cardio benefits with working out, typically what I'll do is if I'm not doing like a lifting session, I'll keep my sets in between a little bit shorter and I'll do some hit movements. You'll never catch me doing a burpee. You'll never catch me asking a client to do a burpee. Um, but things like jump squats and mountain climbers and things like that to get the heart rate elevated and to keep it a little bit more elevated to get that benefit. I ain't running though, dog. But Haley, I love it for you, baby. I love it for
Thank
you
you.
so much. I have my people who are joggers and I'm like, I can't relate, but I will support you in this endeavor.
I
Appreciate
have
it.
trauma. I have trauma surrounding mountain climbers. I looked at mountain climbers and I thought, oh, that's not that difficult. And then you do it for like 10 seconds and you're dying already. I don't know what it is about mountain climbers. The one thing I wanted to ask you, Morgan, just before I go across to Haley for any questions that she had, can you just talk more about how building muscle helps you burn off fat?
Yeah, the more muscle you have, typically the more calories your body has to just burns throughout the day. It's very similar to how eating protein causes your body to burn more calories because it's putting into
Mm.
work. They have found that just with more muscle density that a person holds on to, naturally, the more calories that they are burning throughout the day. And also, one thing that they've really been pushing now are there are a few influencers that I follow who all have their PhDs either in nutritional sciences or in some form of like kinesiology. One thing they've been promoting heavily is that the more muscle density someone has, the more longevity they have in life. The
Yeah.
longer they're living, it's better for you all around. So, more muscle you have, the more calories you're burning throughout the day, which is awesome because that means you get to have some nice glutes, aka booty. You get to have some nice
Mhm.
glutes and you get to eat a little bit more because your body's burning a little more calories than being this big.
I think that was one of the first signs of aging is that it's muscle loss. They measure your lean muscle mass, and it's one of the first lean muscle mass and bone density. When they start going down, that's when your biological clock starts aging like crazy. Haley, did you have any questions?
Yes, I posted an Instagram story and collected some questions from Morgan.
Nice.
So one of the questions I got that someone submitted was, what fitness tips do you have for our naturally curvy queens?
Embrace it, dog. That's why I love pageants and I hate pageants altogether. I love the women who compete in pageantry. I hate the standards that some of these pageants claim to not hold on to and then display time and time again that they hold on to. Um, for my curvy queens, embrace the fact that you are naturally curvy. Like literally, you are all made to be so different. Everyone's body is built so differently from one another's. I have women out here who are fighting tooth and nail to grow their glutes when there are women out here
Mm.
who genetically have just been predispositioned and handed this beautiful gift. So, for my curvy queens, embrace it, be proud of it, don't be afraid to show it off. And at the end of the day, what I tell all my girls, your body is your business. And my business as a coach is just to make you feel like a baddie in the body. So if you are working with someone who is telling you that you need to go from being a curvy size 8 down to a non-curvy size 2, fire them immediately. If you are
Yeah.
holding a title in a pageant and a local title or a state title, and you have a director or coach or someone who's telling you the same thing, that you need to be trying to diminish those curves, don't associate with them anymore. I don't think that women should continue to have to force themselves to fit the mold of pageantry when they're sitting here screaming women's empowerment and then only empowering very few types of women. So I think it's time to see more curvy women. It wasn't until, was it a couple years ago, y'all, that we finally saw a much curvier woman on the universe stage? I don't remember what country she represented, but she came out in a one piece and she was serving curve left and right. And like, honestly, the internet was eating it up because we don't
Mm.
see that level of representation enough. And I am personally sick of it, because to me, being naturally thin doesn't inherently mean that you're healthy, just like being naturally curvy or plus size doesn't mean that you are unhealthy. It's all about what's in your day-to-day habits.
I feel the same way about many coaches. I remember Peyton in one of our early episodes, you were saying about how you had a talent that you felt people weren't taking seriously. And then there's a lot of cliche advice that's thrown around that really irks me. And I think if you have a coach or a director who's giving you that advice, like, oh, you'd win the pageant if only you lost weight, it's not the pageant for you. Go and associate with someone who wants what's best for you. Haley, you got any more questions over there? Sound like you got a few.
Yeah, I have a list.
Nice.
God,
Go for it.
I'm nervous.
They're not hard, I promise. What do you think about waist trainers?
They don't work.
They don't work.
No, you squishing your organs for no reason. Girl, take that thing off. Now, I mean, listen, the placebo effect is real. Some people genuinely out here will be like, I wore my waist trainer every day and it worked and it snatched me in. That's like putting on a pair of tight leggings every day and assuming that the leggings are making you smaller because they're constrictive and tight. Nah, don't waste your money. You're good.
Can I just ask why people think it does work? Because I look at those things and I can't understand why it would work.
It just smushes in your organs. You're just smushing everything in.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
as
the
soon as
women
you
wearing corsets.
exactly. But as soon as you take it off, everything goes back to normal pretty quickly, right? So you can't like wear it you can't wear it in swimsuit. You can't.
No,
So I don't really understand that one.
don't waste your money, dude. Don't. I'm sorry. Sell
Slay.
it on Poshmark.
Thank you. Do you have any alternatives to synthetic protein products, like instead of whey-based protein products, or do you recommend the grilled chicken strategy? What are your thoughts?
Oh, okay. So you can get protein in a lot of forms, and even for my vegans and vegetarians, having access to protein is a lot easier now. I think whatever's going to be best for the individual is what they should stick to. If somebody likes their protein powders, and that's the easiest way for them to get their protein in, great. If you are preferably like a whole foods person and you like to eat your protein, stick to it. The thing that I hated is when I was working with my first coach doing a pageant, it was the only options I had were, it was given one meal plan and it was grilled chicken and Greek yogurt. And that sucked. I couldn't look at chicken for like 2 years after that, dude. I'm pretty sure I went on that stage begawking. So, but any meat source is going to be fantastic for you, but you can also get protein from so many other things. So like yogurt, eggs, dairy. Even if you're lactose intolerant, the Fairlife brand, they're not the best for their ethics. They've been in the news a couple times, but like whatever, bruh. I mean, this is just out here. Fairlife brand. They also even have like almond milks and soy milks that have higher amounts of protein now. For me, y'all know, do y'all get the meat icks where like you get sick of eating meat?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I have the meat icks, my go-to is going to be dry roasted edamame. There's a brand that I found,
Nice.
and for a third of a cup, you get 13 grams of protein. It literally, to me, replaces croutons because
Wow.
I get the crunch. But you could do like dry roasted edamame or beans. You can do hemp seeds, chia seeds, lentils. Uh, oh no. I had a little yogurt drink in here that I just had before we got on, but it's a Chobani drink and it's like 20 grams of protein. So I don't necessarily have like a preferred type of protein. Everyone's different with their preferences of eating, but for me, I do shakes, I do yogurts, and then I'm a meat eater. It's lots of meat.
I like it.
Can I just ask, is it important? Sorry, Haley, is it important to mix up your protein sources as well? Because I talk about like complete proteins.
Okay, so that is one thing that vegetarians and vegans do typically struggle with is not every form of protein is a complete protein. One thing I do like to
Yeah.
tell my clients, they love their collagen things like collagen creamer. The collagen from the ones they've sent me, it's not a complete protein. It doesn't hold all 9 essential amino acids.
Right.
So you need to ensure that whatever protein source you're utilizing is a complete protein. For my vegans and vegetarians, I like to tell them a pea protein powder is going to be iconic because that is a complete protein. It does have the full essential amino acids profile. But things like collagen, hate to break it to you guys, it doesn't count. So if you're drinking collagen creamer in the morning, that 20 grams that it says doesn't count towards your protein intake. Love
Right.
y'all.
Okay.
Thank you.
There might be a few people who are like, oh, but I just spent, I think the
Crap.
waist trainer one is one that really got to me. Like, I don't understand everyone's putting these on. And I just like, how do you breathe in that? And I guess the answer is you don't.
I guess
We'll go
not.
back to, so guys, so Peyton, just remember, if you have any questions, just raise your hand because otherwise there are very long rants and tangents in here as we go. Haley, back to you.
Someone asked, can you make your legs bulkier by running on a treadmill or elliptical?
You can make your legs bulkier by eating in a caloric surplus.
Slay.
That's the only way that if you are gaining weight, assuming again, we are talking about a standard set human, not someone with hormonal or thyroid issues. If you're gaining weight, you are in a calorie surplus. If you are losing weight, you're in a deficit. And if you are not changing at all, then you probably are eating at your maintenance calories.
Peyton.
Favorite. What is your favorite workout for, I know especially for most women, that is, our two biggest areas are the armpit, right? And the inner tube. So like your lower abdominals and I guess transverse abdominals, right? So what are your favorite workouts, favorite strategies to target specific areas?
Okay, so the one thing that I hear women say all the time when they'll hire me is, I only have one spot that I just really need to fix. And as much as I wish we could, y'all, you can't spot train anything. So if you're going to lose weight, you're losing weight all over. If you're going to gain weight, you're gaining weight all over. Now, one thing I've noticed, I have no scientific backing on this. There are no studies. I do feel like women, probably men too, I coach more women though. I feel like we lose from the top down and the bottom up. So we always have like that inner tube or that tire that's like the last to go. So like the lower stomach, the butt, the inner thighs. I feel like that's always our hardest spot to fight. Armpit, that's your chest muscle, babe. That's working the chest. So one thing that I love to do outside of hitting the chest, my favorite superset for that area is typically going to be chest flies with a push-up right afterwards because I'm always sore there the next day. Also love a good side tri-rise. So you're laying on your side, you have bottom hand wrapped around you, and you're literally pushing yourself up with just one arm.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it's a side tri rise in regards to it's supposed to hit the tricep, which it does, but I always feel it hitting here too, because when you're pushing in this direction, you're utilizing the chest muscle as well. So I love that for the armpit fat area. But again, y'all, calorie deficit. I feel like I'm gonna say that 87 times today. Somebody give me a penny
Good.
every time I do. Inner tube. Calorie deficit. Don't beat yourself up if you have it. I feel like the thing that women have to understand is majority of us are walking around with a little bit of excess skin or a little bit of what we feel like is excess fat in that area. It doesn't make you less worthy. It doesn't make you less iconic in swimsuit on stage. Women have to get to a much lower body fat percentage to see that completely dissipate. And one thing I want people to also understand is abs are genetic. The shape of your abs are genetic. Your body, because a lot of the time, is genetic. So there will be some people who just naturally are really flat in that area, don't have to worry about fighting it. Majority of the clients I see do. My favorite is going to be hanging knee raises or the machine. I call it a dip bar in my app because you can also do tricep dips on it. But the machine at the gym or the thing at the gym where you can brace your arms
Yep.
and then your back is against a little pad and you can raise your legs straight up. I love her. She terrible, but she great.
That's hard.
But
That one's really hard.
that one's really hard, but I love her. But again, calorie deficit, y'all. And I know that sucks. And what people also have to understand too, there are plenty of people who aren't comfortable tracking calories because they have had a history of disordered eating or eating disorders.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
for that, I completely respect them. You do not have to count calories, but your calories are still going to count. And there was one study that I think I actually just saw Dr. Lane Norton talking about this not too long ago. Most people under account for their food by up to 50%. So they'll be like, oh, I don't eat that much. I'm
Yeah.
only eating like 1,000 calories. I should be losing weight. But when they actually sit down and track it and genuinely track it, not, volume tracking where they're doing a cup of rice, but they're weighing out what a cup of rice would be on a food scale, it's off by up to 50%. So you could say, don't ever eat 1,000 calories, please, for everything holy, but it's an easy number for me. You could say you're eating 1,000 calories, you're really eating 1,500. That could be what throws you out of your deficit. Or you say you're eating 2,000 calories, but in all actuality, you could actually be eating 3,000. So making sure you're spot on with that. And again, you don't have to count calories. Your calories are still going to count, whether you count them or not to trigger anyone, because I know that that's something I've had a lot of people who struggle with. And for them, we don't count calories, but we are still mindful about what we're intaking.
Yeah, I feel it's the same when it comes to pageant interview training, how it's so difficult to get the girls to watch their own interviews back. It seems like it's this resistance to just confronting the truth. I'm not talking about people who have eating disorder or disordered eating from the past. I completely understand that. I've worked with young women who have that. But assuming that your mental health is where it needs to be in the pageant world, it's like it doesn't help if you're just running from the truth. Like, and my mom is a doctor, my dad's a doctor, my brother's a doctor, and the number of times, especially with my mom and my brother, that people will come in and say, oh, I don't know why I'm putting on weight, doc. I don't eat anything. And it's like, one look at the food, it's like, that's what, like, no one puts on weight in a vacuum, right? You're not a plant. You're not standing there and you're photosynthesizing food. It doesn't happen like that. Haley, back to you.
Ideally, how many months do you like to have to prep a contestant for a pageant?
Dog, as much time as possible. And this is the thing, I just went on a rant about this on my story the other day. Okay, listen. I understand that, like, people will roll their eyes and be like, yeah, but this isn't the Olympics. Okay, but Simone Biles doesn't go to an Olympic qualifier having only prepped for 4 months prior to the Olympic qualifier. So if you're in the USA system or the Miss Earth system and you're looking at your state pageant, consider that your Olympic qualifier. And not even just in fitness, dude, but in interview and walking. in social media preparation, because y'all's social medias are taken so heavily into account in a lot of these pageants. They stalk your pages. Don't know if y'all know that. Be prepared. Um, Prep as much as possible. And I I get it. A coach is expensive, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you always need to be paying someone for training or for interview or for walking, but you need to be putting in the work
Yeah.
nonstop. Like, Haley, you have literally an international title. How many years of training, not even in just fitness, but in walking and interview, had to led you up to that moment? Years, right?
6.
6 years. And that doesn't, I mean, there might be people who put in 10 years and they'll never win the crown, but
Mm.
you have to treat yourself like you're an athlete. And you can't just be like, okay, cool, I'll do it in 16 weeks and I'll be ready. The same thing with walking, the same thing with interview. You've got to give yourself as much time as humanly possible. Like, the second you decide you're doing that pageant, get into that groove and don't stop until you're at the pageant. And then after the pageant, if you want to do another one, don't take 6 months off just to try to prep again 14, 16 weeks out. You're spinning your wheels. You're not doing yourself any favors. And also, depending on some of the coaches that you hire, they will either not everyone's going to push you to be your best self. A lot of the times people are going to either feed you BS of an interview, just be yourself. I don't know if it's because they're lazy. I don't know if they feel like that they just don't have enough time to work with you to get you to where you need to be for interview. Same thing with fitness trainers, dude. If you hire someone 16 weeks out and they don't genuinely care about your health and well-being, they will probably could potentially put you on some hardcore crash diet that's going to
Mm.
burn you out, completely bottom out your metabolic rate, and just trash you all the way around just so they can drop you down 5 pounds. And for what? So yeah, give yourself as much time as possible. Sorry about that. Forever. Train nonstop. What are you doing? No days off. Grind.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who sometimes gets set off on rants. It's good to know that there's someone else who gets set off on rants. Haley, we'll tag team with the questions here because I have a few here as well. So this goes back to the vegetarian. So Caroline Jones, who actually wrote the introduction to my book, Morgan wrote the forward. So Caroline wrote, "Hi Morgan, hope to be able to chat with you sometime soon. My question: I've been vegetarian for over a decade, which I love, but protein is a struggle. We sort of covered this before. I avoid protein powders and such, mostly because I can't find one I like. When do you recommend supplementation versus food first approaches?"
Again, it's going to be personal preference, but you'll love this with the number I'm about to use. The RDA of protein is super, super low. I don't recommend a daily allowance of protein. What does America say? Because it might be different in like Australia based on how y'all's, I don't know. Do y'all have like a nutrition part of the government? In the
We do.
US,
We
I
call
want
it
to say it's
RDI, recommended daily intake. So same thing.
okay. I don't know. I don't know what y'all's is. I know in the US it's like 0.8 grams per kilogram of your body weight, which is like, I'd have to get my calculator out. It ain't a
In
lot, bro.
Australia, it's just so you know, sorry. In Australia, I know this is metric, but it's 0.75 grams per kilo for women and 0.84 grams per kilo for men.
Dog, that's not enough protein. Like what? No. So my suggestion for all of my clients, I to me that peak number is about 1.6 kilograms per or 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight. And if
Right.
you're like, why are you using per kg? It's just because that's what I was learning when I was getting my
Yeah.
certifications was
Yeah.
that number, 1.6 to 2.2, 2.2 being absolute max, and that equals out to about 1 gram per pound of body weight. Um, but it's going to be your preference on your intake and what's going to be easiest for you. If you haven't found a protein powder that you like yet, don't blame you. Most of them are gritty and really suck. Um,
Mm.
So if you don't want to use some form of supplementation and use like a protein powder, again, being vegetarian, it's not as easy, and you do need to look into making sure that it is a complete protein. So I would suggest trying like a pea protein powder, a couple different ones to see if there are any that you like. Am I allowed to plug brands on here?
100%. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
go for it.
Isopure is one of the protein powders I use. It is a whey protein. So if you're a vegetarian, you should be okay with a whey, but it is lactose free, so it doesn't upset my tum-tums. I think it's got like 5 ingredients in it, super clean, very low carb too. So it's pretty much a pure protein source. I'll mix that with some Fairlife protein chocolate milk, 13 grams per glass. Dog, you're sitting at like 33 grams of protein with a little shake that kind of tastes like chocolate milk.
Okay.
Outside of that,
Yeah.
though, for my vegetarians, I really like to push for y'all to do eggs, cheese, Greek yogurt. Again, the dry roasted edamame, I'm a really, really big fan of. You can also get your protein from things like beans and lentils. And on my salads, I'll do hemp seeds and chia seeds. Y'all can do tofu if you want. I don't like it. They do have some high protein tofus. I don't like them. They're gross. But if you know how to cook it real good, do it, girl. But the thing that you do have to keep in mind with vegetarian sources of protein, especially if you're leaning more so towards like the beans and the seeds, is those are going to come at a higher calorie count than, you know, a grilled chicken breast. So that is something to keep in mind. But it's personal preference. But my main focus is ensuring that you are getting enough protein to really fuel your body properly.
Would you like to hear a story about synthetic protein powder?
Yes, tell me. Is it traumatizing?
Yes. A year ago today, I was zero carb. I was zero carb for about a month. And I was tearing my hair out, Morgan. And I was like, I am going to keto it for the next 2 weeks. I was competing at Miss Earth USA. It was the same timeline as last year. This was prelims for me, but we're doing full show this time. So I was like, I gotta go. I got 2 weeks. We're just gonna do a little bit of carbs, okay? And I found this dough on the internet, and I'm not gonna say what the name of it was, but it had synthetic protein in it. And usually synthetic protein products say when they're a whey-based protein, because so many people are allergic to it. I personally am very allergic to it. And I had bought this protein and I did not check the ingredients. And it was made where like you can make cookies out of it or like pancakes or whatever. It literally comes as a dough. I had a couple of tablespoons of it. First of all, it tasted horrible. But second, when I tell you I threw up for like 3 days and could not keep food down. And this was like in the last stretch of getting ready to go to Miss Earth USA. I was like starving, laying on the ground for 3 days before I left. It was actually awful. But yeah, if you're allergic to whey, always check the ingredients because it might not be printed on there, even if it normally is. Situation. I was
throwing up makes your abs hurt, but that's not the type of ab workout she was wanting to have 3 days before leaving. At least it came up and not down dog, because I'm lactose intolerant in the down direction.
Okay. So when I react to whey, I get a migraine and then I throw up until it's out of my system. I can't even get that far with it. So I will just say that reaction right before leaving for a pageant was truly terrible.
Did you make that decision? Was that up to your own devices, or was that an instructed decision?
I was instructed that I was to have no carbs. I was told that there was no Christmas and that there was no New Year's. And I was losing my mind. And this was, I think, right after Christmas, but I had ordered it around like my birthday, which is December 10th. And it was like done out of desperation, where I was like, this is a keto protein dough that I can make a cookie out of, and then I won't feel like I'm going to die anymore. And then I got it, and A, it was terrible, and B, it made me really, really sick.
You want to hear it? Nope. Okay.
Can I just, before Morgan loses her mind, can I just ask, you know, when you're on a certain diet and you feel like you're about to die, or you feel
Yeah.
like you feel like you want to murder someone.
Yeah.
Is there ever a situation where that's okay? Because I've done some pretty extreme things in
That's a
my
good
nutrition
question.
journey myself. But is it ever okay when you just feel like you're dying? Because that doesn't seem normal, right?
No, it's not normal. It's not freaking normal. It's not
Well,
healthy. And I'm assuming you didn't get to eat birthday cake.
no. I got like a
Mm,
keto cake and keto icing, and I put
that would make
together
you throw up.
a little keto cake. I could do the keto for a hot second, and I wasn't even supposed to have that much with the trainer that I was working with at the time. So I was like, so that I'm not a like crying mess over my birthday, Christmas, and New Year's. Plus, I was in finals as like a bio pre-med student in my senior year as this was going on as well. I was like, we're gonna do a couple of keto things that I know that I'm not supposed to have, but a little bit of keto is better than me binging because I've lost control, was my thought process.
Yeah. You know that soundbite on TikTok where it's like, be nice, I'm finding it. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Okay. But
I just feel like you shouldn't ever have to feel like you have to hide something from a trainer.
I feel like
I'm
I'm
not saying
gonna
that Haley.
implode.
Well, I'm not saying that Haley you were, but like if you have to hide that you're eating a certain and like keto to zero carb, I don't know what the medical difference is, but I mean keto is already extraordinarily low, and going zero carbs in today's lifestyle is not easy because
That's so
everything has.
impossible, bro. That is literally chicken, butter, eggs.
Green stuff.
But for what? That's what I don't understand. It's like,
So
why? This is
this
what I ask all the time. It's like, why? Why
this
zero
segues
carbs?
into
Because
a
these are
question I have.
antiquated, ignorant methods. These people don't know what they're doing. They're playing over here, just having, they're like playing God with these people's health, just being over here like, don't eat any carbs, good luck. Meanwhile, they're shoving their faces with waffles at the
Yeah,
Waffle House, having a
thank
great
you.
time. I don't, what?
Sponsor us,
Waffle
Waffle
House
House.
sponsor us.
Waffle House sponsor us. Waffle House. I would tell all my clients to eat Waffle House, Waffle House, Waffle House. No, these people are, I don't know if they get off on it. I don't know. It's
So the reason that I was zero carb is because I have PCOS. So given that PCOS affects 10% of women in the US, my next question to you is how does that change your training strategy for a client? Because that personally for me did not go well.
no. So my women with PCOS, obviously everyone reacts very differently to everything. I have found that a lot of my PCOS babies do a lot better without dairy in their diet, and that helps them a lot. One of my girls that I was helping to prep, and she is now Miss New York America, Lauren Norris, she has PCOS. She speaks out about it. I want to say it was actually her platform. She's big on it. The one thing I don't do with my PCOS clients, obviously, everyone's dietary restrictions are different. Some people feel a lot better without super processed carbohydrates, so no starchy whites and stuff like that. Some people it doesn't bother them at all. Some people dairy being taken out helps them to feel better. Some people doesn't affect them. So diet is going to be person to person. Obviously, I still like to keep carbs in there no matter what, and healthy fats in there no matter what, because that's going to be what's keeping a well balanced, well rounded diet. My women with PCOS, I have actually found that, and there have been some studies that have shown that doing more high intensity training is less beneficial for them and it doesn't help them as much. So, actually, more focused strength training sessions, taking longer breaks in between has been a bit more beneficial for them. So, that's really the only main focus I do with my PCOS girlies outside of kind of feeling them out and seeing what's going to be
Mm.
better for them diet wise is just ensuring that they're not doing any super crazy hit training or high intensity interval training stuff and giving them a little bit of longer breaks in between. And there are some studies that have shown that it's just been a bit more beneficial for them in regards to just how their body responds to working out.
Haley, does that mimic your any of the experience that you've had?
Hell
I've
no.
tried a lot
Sorry.
of different things. I put myself on keto for a period of time once, and that was really hard. I did lose a lot of
Mm.
weight at it. I think everyone who tries it loses a lot of weight at it, although it is not fun or sustainable. I do love to run. That has always worked for me. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm still kind of trying to find what long term is going to be the best for me.
Try
I
lifting and
think
running.
Okay.
everyone's journey is very individual, right? I mean, as I said, I'm not a huge fan of running, but I love going for walks because that just clears my head. And I'm not saying it's the greatest exercise. I get really sick of all these crazy like walking is the best exercise ever. And now everyone's measuring the steps. I'm like, I think you have to find what works for you. But I love walking not for the physical benefits, but for the mental benefits. And I will say, I find those two are very interlinked. Like if you are better up here, then you tend to want to work out more. And as you work out more, it tends to, like the worst thing I think for your mental health is to be locked inside, eat really processed food and not move. And then you say, oh, I'm really upset and depressed. And like, well, yeah, it's not rocket science. But I just want to point out something. So there are a lot of trainers out there who I think have never read a study. Just for reference, Morgan, I mean, how much time do you spend with your head in the books?
Or stay on PubMed, dog. Stay on it. I'm checking it weekly for updates. And actually, what cracks me up is what you were just saying about um walking is there was actually a study that just came out that said that doing, obviously, if you love running, you stick to running. But for the
Hmm.
people who don't and feel obligated to run because they're like, this is how I'm going to lose weight, um, most people don't love running. I feel like you're a very special creature if you do, and like that's your natural high. But a new study actually compared running and fat burning to doing a 12-3-30, which is 12% incline, 3.0 speed for 30 minutes on the treadmill. And both of the sessions, they burned like an equal amount of calories, but actually the incline walking, the 12-3-30 people, they had more higher fat burning than the running
Oh,
people.
okay.
So equal-ish
Hmm.
calories with it, but more fat burned with the 12-3-30 incline walking. Fun fact.
Wow, that's
But it
interesting. I
was,
feel
yeah,
like
it was a
Haley's
PubMed study on the metabolic response of 12-3-30 compared to like a self-paced like treadmill run.
right. Okay.
12-3-30,
I,
baby.
I've got a couple more questions here. Haley, how many more have you got on your list?
We went through all of my questions that were submitted online.
Okay, so
I can
I
always
survived. I'm still alive. I'm still
I've got a
alive.
couple more here. You're not done yet. You're not out of the woods yet.
Dang.
Um,
Dang.
can I had one that goes all the way back to Peyton's question about cardio versus weights. Can you give me your thoughts on high intensity versus HIIT versus LIST, so the low intensity steady state? So a lot of people now are pushing the high intensity, but I feel it's because sometimes I feel like it's, oh, you can get fit instantly overnight and you only have to do 3 seconds of working out. And I feel like there's a place for high intensity, but I also feel there's a place for walking. So can you just give me your thoughts on high intensity versus a low intensity steady state?
There's a place for both of them. Actually, my only workout ebook I did a Lean in 16 ebook, and I work in lists, and it's actually, I call it lists in the ebook. So I will have certain workouts where they're doing things really quick and on a timer, and you're doing like 25 jumping jacks and 15 squats. And then the next day I will have you do a 30-minute list workout. So 20 to 30 minutes on a bike or on like a fast-paced walk or on an elliptical.
Mm,
So I think that there's a beneficial place for both. I don't think that either one is going to be this perfect solution to whatever you want to do and what you need, but there's gonna be a place for both in a workout
right.
routine. So no, I don't think HIIT is some miracle thing, which I know a lot of people go and do a color theory class. I don't want to dog out any companies out here, so I'm not going to say the color, but a color theory workout class, and it's pretty much HIIT. You're like running and then you're doing jump squats and wall balls and this and that and the other, and they're like, this is going to fix everything. Nah, dog.
Yeah.
Nah, dog. Just get your workout in, do it the way you enjoy it. Low intensity, steady state is going to be beneficial for you. High intensity interval training is going to be beneficial for you. It's making sure you've got a good balance of both,
Yeah.
not one or the other.
We don't have that company who shall not be named here, I think, but my best friend's wife, she goes to a similar class in a similar company that shall also remain unnamed. And she was saying, oh, how it's the best thing ever. But the thing was, she was getting great results, but it's because before that, she had been sedentary probably for 20 years. And I feel like when you haven't moved for 20 years, if you do anything, it's going to be good for you. Anything is better than nothing, but that doesn't mean it was some sort of miracle,
No.
which is where I get a little bit annoyed with like celebrity endorsements. It's like, hang on, you own this company. So maybe we take what you say with a grain of salt. Now, Crystal Foot, who is the only person I've interviewed who's taller than me.
My
and so
nugget.
I said I would retire when I interviewed someone taller than me, and so I should because she's 6'4". She wants to know, Morgan, what's your favorite high protein snack?
Snacks. Okay. Outside of my dry roasted edamame, I get it wasabi flavored. Might be really boring to some people. There is this one brand of protein chips, and I think it's called Legend or Legendary. They sell it at Target. They have pizza flavor. She's delightful. And if you're a ranch girl, dip her in a little bit of ranch, unless your coach is going to dog you out for it later, and then maybe don't. Protein bars that I'm obsessed with right now is the Kind brand. They have a Protein Max, which I don't personally like the regular Kind bars. I'm like, this tastes a little too crunchy granola healthy for me. I don't like it. But this one doesn't, and it's pretty dank. And then there's a protein brownie that I'm eating called Elavi. I don't know. I found it at Costco. That's it.
Go, Peyton.
Yes.
Have you tried the Built Puff bars? Because those are my favorite.
They give me tummy aches.
Oh, that's fair.
Everyone
I just really
loves
love
them.
marshmallows.
And they say
so,
it's like eating like a puffy cloud and that it's like
Yeah.
mousse on the inside and it's so soft. Suck it. I can't have it. It hurts my
it's
tummy.
so yum. The coconut
I'm so
flavor is my
jealous.
favorite. It's like a coconut marshmallow. It's amazing.
I'm so jealous.
What-
It looks.
what's the
Josh
name?
eats them.
They're
What's
called
the name of the
Built.
brand?
Built. But
Oh,
they're the Puff
okay.
bars specifically. They have other bars, but specifically Puff.
It looks so pretty. Josh eats
Mhm.
them. They look so fluffy. It looks like when he busts that thing open, it looks like a Three Musketeers.
Mhm.
I'm like, that looks delightful. I can't have it. It upsets my tum-tums. It sucks. Oh, Kodiak protein waffles, the frozen ones. Them's is
Yeah.
good.
Those are good.
Them's
Those
is
are
good.
I got some in the
Mhm.
fridge right
You can have protein waffles. How on earth can waffles be protein?
Kodiak brand.
I don't know what that is.
It's just a brand of waffles around here that they have like muffins and mixes
Wow.
now.
too.
Pancakes.
But they have protein waffles. It's not like a massive ample amount of protein. I want to say it's like 12 or 13 grams for like 2 waffles, but it's solid.
But
That's more than a
it's
regular
lower in
waffle.
carbs, though. It's like lower in carbs compared to like a regular waffle.
I don't
No?
think it's much lower. I want to say it's still around 20 or 30 grams of carbs, but more
Okay.
protein than a regular waffle. There's another brand called Vans that also has I think
Right.
Vans is predominantly gluten-free, but they have a protein waffle too, and it's the same thing. Delightful. Oh, and Thomas brand, don't know if y'all know, haven't found it yet to try it. So you've heard of like Dave's Killer brand? I'm sorry, Adrian. I don't know if y'all have any of this in Australia. So there's like one brand called Dave's Killer, and they do like breads and bagels and stuff, and they have some protein in it. Okay, well, y'all know Thomas brand bagels, like the OG regular bagels at the
Like-
grocery store, bruh.
Like muffins.
They got protein bagels now.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
20 grams of protein in a bagel.
Wow. Okay.
Throw some
Wait.
egg
No,
and cheese and bacon on that. Game over.
These are all
They're not the
brands I haven't
ratio
heard of.
bagels, are they?
Huh?
Ratio bagels.
No, but I don't know if it was the ratio brand. I did have one client who was she was tracking all of her macros and stuff, and she was hitting the numbers, and she'd found these low carb bagels, and I was like, these numbers don't make sense. They're too good to be true. Well, fun fact, the FDA in the States allows for like I don't know if it's like mislabeling or like incorrect numbers or something, but they allow for inconsistencies of up to 20% on the nutrition labels on the back of anything. Yeah, fun fact. So
Okay.
I looked at the nutrition label and then the actual calories, and they had subtracted the carbs from the dietary fiber out of the calorie count because apparently fiber doesn't count. Wrong. No, 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 no. So basically the bagel said it was like 180 calories. No, it was not, dog. It was still up in the two something. But
I'm
they
amazed
just
that they're
subtracted the fiber,
allowed.
the grams of fiber.
I'm amazed
Bro,
they're
this is
allowed to do that.
America. Are we amazed
Yeah.
at anything
Peyton,
at this point?
What about Goodles?
I've had a lot of clients ask me for Goodles lately, and they love them. I haven't tried them yet, but they love them. Goodles is
They
a
are
high protein mac and cheese.
delicious. The Hatch green
oh,
chili is my favorite. I will just, oh my gosh.
I just found some protein crackers by a brand called Milton's, and it's like they're almost like little rice crackers, not like rice
Hmm.
cakes, those give me PTSD, but like rice crackers, and they have a red chili flavor, and they're delightful too. I I like snacks of all varieties.
Me too.
A good protein
it's
snack to me could be a donut and a protein shake. You still get your protein in and you get a snack.
I need to I need to get or see if any of these brands are available in Australia. I had no idea what Goodles was, but I will say because some high protein stuff like it works well. Like mac and cheese, I can see that working because cheese already has a lot of protein. But then there are some ones like not high protein, but like gluten free. And then like I've never been able to find a good gluten free pasta, for example, because you take the gluten out of pasta, and to me it has a texture of cardboard. And so I'm always looking for, because I think they get better at it all the time. Now you have like high protein snacks that actually taste like a chocolate cake or cookies and cream. That's my
Yeah,
favorite. And I was like, wow, I can actually eat this. Whereas maybe 20 years ago, if you had anything that was high protein or, low fat, and it just tasted
gross.
absolutely terrible.
Mhm.
So I think it's getting easier maybe to find healthy options. But I think also one of the issues is that like the unhealthy options are still so cheap and out there. But I mean, that's a discussion for another day. I've got one final question here from Christina. What's your personal favorite exercise, Morgan?
Either glute bridges, either glute bridges or dead bugs.
Dead
That's
I
it.
bugs.
like a dead bug.
I
I
love
love
a
a
dead
dead
bug.
bug.
I
I
love a
love a
dead
dead
bug.
bug.
I like how we all know what a dead bug is.
I love a dead bug. Um, my favorite exercise to make people do, but I hate it as much as they do, so suck it up because I too have been personally victimized by myself. Um, are bear crawls.
I
The
thought it was
devil.
so
Yeah.
funny when you said that. That's exactly what came to mind because my trainer, who was kind of like she was a petite blonde woman, but she was really hardcore. She made me do bear crawls around a packed gym, and she was walking behind me, going, good boy, mosh, mosh." And I'm like, oh my god! But I found it
Dogging you
really,
out.
really funny. I will say, if it had been the other way around, the male trainer with a female, that would have not gone down so well. But I
No.
remember that to this day, bear crawls. It's so undignified.
Oh, dude, I freaking hate it, but like it it does it. It does what it needs to do.
Morgan, we've drilled you with so much. Is there anything like any closing remarks you want to make, like any general advice that sets you off, or red flags, or just general closing advice? And obviously tell people if they want to bring you on as a trainer, how can they do that? I think that's the most important part.
You can go to my website, morganfitness.com. I'm very transparent with pricing. There's a link where you can put in an inquiry and we can get on a consult call, or you can just sign up directly through my website and we can get to know each other on the app. Um, Final thoughts. Don't go on a tangent. Be nice. I'm finding it. If
You need a minute?
Don't change your body for anyone else but you. Only work with people who are going to genuinely support you and your goals, not traumatize you and gaslight you and guilt trip you because you do what any other normal human would do, which is miss a workout or eat outside of your normal meal plan or I don't get enough sleep or go out and have a cocktail. You're very much human. You deserve to surround yourself, not even with the training situation, but with all coaching aspects. You deserve to surround yourself with coaches who are going to empower you and uplift you and not dog you out and make you feel bad for being a very normal human. Carbs don't make you fat. Protein doesn't make you bulky. Lifting 5-pound weights isn't going to turn you into the She-Hulk. You should probably be lifting heavier than you actually are. Your calories count whether you count them or not. I'm making a video this week because guess what? There are studies that show that drinking water, specifically cold water, helps you to burn calories. Drink your water, you dehydrated little house plant. Yeah. Did I hit it all? And
I feel called
make
out.
sure whatever your trainer is asking you to do, I understand, some people are older or whatever, but like, I'm not as a coach asking you to do anything I would not do myself. And yeah, be nice. I'm finding it.
I think you need to keep looking for it. I don't think you found it yet.
Cut the mic, Adrian.
No. This is the good stuff. This is the stuff we clip and put front and center, and then we get people saying, "Is this about me?" And it's like, if you have to ask if it's about you, it's probably about you.
The size 7 Nike.
If the shoe fits.
The shoe fits.
I spend a lot of time being the guinea pig. Like with any coaching I did, it's like I never got my client to do anything I hadn't done to myself first. And I've done many weird food experiments, and I've been traumatized by quite a few things that still I get a gag reflex.
I made it 2 days with keto. I literally had one person who was like, "Hi, I want to get started. I want to do keto." And I was like, this is when it was fresh, brand new, hitting the market. I was like, "You mean Atkins diet?" And then I'm like, "Oh no, this is a whole new thing." I made it 2 days. Nah, dog. And if they're like, "Can you help?" Nope. I'm not putting you on a keto diet. Don't call me if you want to do carnivore. It ain't happening, bruh. Eat your veggies and your fruits. What's wrong with these humans being like, just eat steak and put butter in your coffee? A girl just wants a baked potato. Give her the baked potato.
How's that finding the nice thing going for you? You right? Do you need a moment?
It's not, y'all. I could go like WWE wrestling right now and just like
off the top rope, drop the elbow.
I have been so triggered by my women's PTSD trauma stories that they have told me that like, try Jesus, not me, because I'll fight. Like I can't even look certain people in the face at public events because I'm like, I know what you did. And they tattletaled on you. You're a horrible human.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Join the club. I was going to say, because there are some stereotypes. So, in general, I found that female trainers, when they work with female clients in general, I will say it's a different dynamic, but I will say what irks me is when trainers or coaches stop learning. And so you mentioned like there's some people who are older, and for me, it's never about the numerical age. It's when you stop learning and when your knowledge becomes out of date and you keep pushing it on people and you've never done it to yourself and your knowledge is harmful. Like, dude, like that's the main thing. If your knowledge is harmful and you're pushing it on young, impressionable women, and it can have it's not science. I mean, that's a whole social media though, isn't it? It's all the TikTok trends and stuff like that.
There's a few influencers that if someone sends me their TikTok, I'm like, unfollow them immediately. They are literally talking out of their butts. Science is ever evolving and ever changing. And the methodology that I would have used 2 or 3 years ago is different than the methodology I use now because I'm going to go with what the science is showing works. So you have to be constantly open to changing, just the same way that doctors are open to changing. Dude, they do surgery with lasers now and robotics, and they weren't doing that 30 years ago. Like, be open to the change and be able to kind of like go with the flow and adjust to what the science is showing and what the clients need now. But yeah, even with age, you can't stop. I mean, I'm hoping that at some point I'm going to be that 85-year-old trainer and I might not be able to do bear crawls anymore, but I'm going to have the receipts on my phone to show you that in my prime, I was that girl. That was it. Okay, you're done.
Always will be that girl.
Stop talking, Morgan.
Good job, Morgan.
I didn't fight
Yay,
nobody.
Morgan.
I didn't imaginary fight nobody. I only balled my fist up like 80. At one point when Haley was talking, I was like trembling with anger, because I was like, you're a joke. No birthday, no Christmas, no, you're joking, right? Like trembling with anger. But then also I dealt with that. I did the same thing. I listened to somebody and I was like, the blind following the blind, because what you says goes, and I listens to you, boss. No. Now I'm like,
Yeah.
no, kick them. But like, no, when you were talking about, I was like, I was shaking with anger. I could have started doing like my little
Straight jacket.
straight jacket rocking, because I'm like, why? Y'all women, we put up with some crap, dude. And I'm not saying dudes don't either. I just don't work with dudes that much. But like, man, the pageant industry has us doing some of the wildest things that we don't even question, all for the name, all for the sake of a tiara.
I will jump in because I work predominantly with women as well. And I will say, in general, okay, stereotyping, there are always exceptions. But in general, if you tell a man to do something and he disagrees with you, he'll call you out on it and he won't do it. He'll fight you on it. He wants to know at least why. What really scares me in pageantry, and we've sort of shared stories around this, is that sometimes the contestants, they assume that the coach is God, especially when it's like official interview coach or official trainer. And you get the advice and you just do it. And it's not working and you're miserable, you're in tears, you want to kill somebody, but you keep doing it because that's what XYZ trainer told you. And I just keep saying, you have to know what works best for you. You are in charge of the crazy bus. You're driving this crazy bus.
Yeah.
It's not him in charge. It's not her in charge. You need to know what you're doing. Is it working? And if it's not working, adjust it. There's no cause in pageantry. There's no reason in pageantry to be miserable, like lying in the fetal position on the floor, throwing up, retching and crying and being afraid that your trainer's going to give you trauma. It's like, guys, it's a pageant. It's not supposed to be some giant PTSD event. So that's why I keep pushing the contestants to just, you're in charge. I keep saying, you're in charge, you're in charge, you're in charge. And you literally see some of them get really confused. It's like, I am not a genius. I don't know what's best for you. You know what's best for you. I'm here to give you some feedback. And by the way, I'm not always right. Because it's like what Morgan said with the medical field, and Haley and Peyton, because you both did in the sciences. I think there's a statistics, like by the time you get to the end of your medical degree, not say that you guys did one, but if you did one, it's like half the information's out of date by the time you finish your degree. That's how quickly it's changing, guys. It's like we don't use leeches anymore, right? So you need someone who's going to stay up to date. And that's what I love about, you know, what Morgan does is like she actually, if you got, pardon me, I mean, let's not go on a tangent. We'll be here for another 5 hours. But Peyton, Haley, any more questions? Hopefully that won't set Morgan off on another tangent.
Thank you, Morgan.
Yes, thank you, Morgan. We love you.
I love you guys. Look at the hearts. Look at the hearts.
So
Haley,
cute.
you stressed me out. I'm going to go do my
I'm sorry.
loony bin rock now because Haley's got my guts jumping like I had whey protein.
Okay.
Made my tummy hurt. She gave me a stomach ache.
Is this what you thought our interview was going to be like, Morgan, that I'd be drilling you with these sort of questions?
Yeah. This is what I thought our interview was going to be like. Instead, you were like, you know what? Let's go on let's take the road less traveled.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's more useful for people to get to see what sort of person you are in terms of wanting to work with you or not. I think we can assume the knowledge. I can tell. I don't need to grill you on it. I think it's more important that you're actually a supportive trainer because there aren't enough of those, you know, and they've walked the walk. They're not just talking the talk. But guys, we'll hold it there. For any of you who have any questions for us or you want to suggest future topics, you can go to pageantpod.com, as in pageantpodcast.com, pageantpod.com, and send us any requests, any questions, and you can do so anonymously because I know that there's a lot of things that sometimes you want to discuss that you can't name names, but you can put it there anonymously if you do so choose. So pageantpod.com. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll speak to you next time.